In 2025, Jake Paul is living the most expensive, most dramatic, and most calculated chapter of his life. With a new $20 million mansion in Puerto Rico, a growing catalog of supercars, multi-million-dollar businesses, and a lifestyle built for speed and spectacle, Jake's empire has expanded far beyond YouTube. Today, we break down the assets, the wealth, the house, and the world Jake Paul lives in now. By 2025, Jake Paul has crossed a financial threshold most creators never even approach. What started as chaotic Vine clips and wild YouTube content has evolved into a diversified machine built to generate money at every angle. Today, Jake's net worth sits firmly in the multi-million-dollar tier, powered by boxing payouts, brand deals, social platforms, investments, business ventures, and long-term revenue pipelines. But the most interesting part isn't the size of his fortune, it's the way he built it. Jake didn't follow the usual influencer path of chasing views until burnout. He created Pillars, a combat sports identity that produces million-dollar fight checks, a digital personality with built-in monetization, and a business portfolio that moves whether he uploads or not. In 2025, he's not just a YouTuber or an athlete. He's a hybrid entrepreneur who figured out how to turn controversy, charisma, and ambition into assets. And the clearest, most physical symbol of his rising wealth is the residence he now calls home, a $20 million modern fortress in Puerto Rico, the kind of property that instantly signals that Jake Paul isn't playing on the same financial level anymore. He's living in a space designed for celebrities, athletes, and ultra-wealthy executives, not just online entertainers. And it raises the question, what kind of mansion does $20 million actually buy? Jake's $20 million Puerto Rico mansion isn't just expensive. It feels engineered for someone who lives life at full volume. The moment you step inside, the scale hits you. This is not a big YouTuber house. This is a luxury estate built for oceanfront living, elite privacy, and over-the-top comfort. The house sits directly on the waterfront, giving Jake instant access to ocean views that stretch endlessly into the horizon. Massive floor-to-ceiling windows flood every room with natural light, making the entire home look like a cinematic backdrop ready for filming at any moment. The open-concept layout feels both enormous and intentional, built for someone who runs an entire brand out of one location. There are wings for work, wings for guests, wings for entertainment, and wings for recovery. The property features an expansive infinity pool that blends seamlessly into the ocean below, creating a surreal, luxurious view every time he steps outside. The outdoor lounge area includes modern fire features, minimalist stonework, and wide-open spaces where he can host events, film content, or relax in total privacy. Inside, the mansion includes a chef-grade kitchen, spa-quality bathrooms, a fully equipped home gym, multiple lounge spaces, and oversized bedrooms that feel like resort suites. One of the most impressive features is the rooftop, a private deck overlooking the coastline, perfect for hosting private gatherings or simply unwinding above the ocean. Jake's house isn't just beautiful, it's tactical. It functions as a filming hub, a training base, a relaxation space, a business, HQ, a tax-optimized residence, a high-status symbol. This mansion was designed for someone who wanted space, privacy, and control, all while living in a property that reflects a multimillionaire lifestyle. But the mansion isn't the whole story. To understand why Jake lives here, you need to understand why Puerto Rico matters so much to his lifestyle and wealth strategy. Jake Paul didn't pick Puerto Rico at random. For someone at his level of income, the move was a calculated lifestyle and financial decision. And in 2025, Puerto Rico has become the epicenter of Jake's life, the place where he trains, works, films, recovers, and scales his businesses. The first pillar of the move is privacy. Jake's early Los Angeles life was chaos, constant cameras, fans driving past his house, paparazzi lurking outside, noise 24/7. Puerto Rico offers the exact opposite. His mansion is hidden behind natural barriers, private roads, and oceanfront isolation. No crowds, no Hollywood pressure, no unpredictable distractions. For someone who now takes his career seriously, the quiet is invaluable. The second pillar is the environment. Puerto Rico is warm year-round, surrounded by ocean and ideal for daily training. Jake can run, swim, spar, recover, and work without ever leaving his property. The island gives him a healthier rhythm, far away from the chaos that defined his early career. And then there's the financial pillar, tax strategy. Puerto Rico's tax laws are highly favorable for high-income earners, entrepreneurs, and investors. Without diving into technical details, the island offers extremely competitive tax benefits that allow wealthy residents to keep more of what they earn. When your income comes from million-dollar events, global brand deals, and equity-based businesses, this matters. A $20 million mansion suddenly becomes not just luxury, but a long-term financial position. Puerto Rico also gives Jake something LA never did, a brand identity. Living on the island adds to his image as a global athlete and entrepreneur, not just a YouTuber in Los Angeles. It positions him differently. It raises the perceived value of every move he makes. Jake didn't move to Puerto Rico to escape anything. He moved there to upgrade everything. And now that he's living in a mansion and running a business empire from paradise, the next question is, what does the rest of his lifestyle look like? Jake Paul's 2025 car collection is the perfect reflection of who he has become. Part athlete, part entertainer, part entrepreneur, and fully a multimillionaire who lives fast and invests big in the lifestyle that matches his identity. His garage may not have the biggest number of cars, but what he does own is a curated lineup of high-performance machines, super luxury cruisers, and camera-ready vehicles that define the style and energy of his brand. Every car he owns was chosen for a reason. Every one of them reflects a version of Jake Paul the world has watched evolve over the last decade. Let's start with one of the most iconic cars connected to the Paul brand, the Lamborghini Huracan. This car has been part of Jake's identity since his early days, but in 2025, it represents something different. The Huracan is the perfect mix of raw speed and exotic presence, a supercar that performs like a missile and looks like a statement piece. The sound alone becomes part of Jake's lifestyle, high-pitched, sharp, and unmistakable. Whether he's pulling up to training, filming content, or cruising through Puerto Rico, the Huracan remains one of the most recognizable pieces of his automotive personality. But Jake's life is not just about supercars, it's about dominance and presence. That's where the Rolls-Royce Cullinan enters the picture. The Cullinan is the SUV of kings, massive, elegant, silent, and built like a rolling penthouse. In Puerto Rico, this type of vehicle is both luxury and necessity. The roads can be rugged, the terrain unpredictable, and the island lifestyle requires something powerful enough to go anywhere, yet comfortable enough to feel like a private jet on wheels. The Cullinan does all of that. For Jake, it isn't just transportation. It's a mobile boardroom, a travel lounge, a way to move through the world with the aura of someone who made it. Then there's the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon, a super celebrity staple that Jake has relied on throughout his career. In 2025, the G-Wagon feels even more fitting for his life in Puerto Rico. Rugged, stylish, luxurious, and instantly recognizable. It's the car he uses for everyday driving, for spontaneous content shoots, and for island adventures. The G is practical, yes, but it's also iconic. It completes the visual language of Jake's influencer-turned-athlete lifestyle. Fast cars for fun, luxury cars for presence, and the G-Wagon for everything in between. And while Jake is known for high-end European luxury, he also keeps a Toyota Tacoma or similar off-road truck in rotation. Puerto Rico's landscape isn't all perfect coastal roads and glamorous estates. The island has areas where an off-road truck becomes less of a luxury and more of a necessity. Jake uses it for boat trips, jet ski days, hauls, and any adventure where a Lamborghini isn't exactly the smartest choice. It's a small detail, but it adds to the picture. Even in luxury, Jake lives actively, outdoors, and constantly on the move. But the collection doesn't stop with what's parked inside the garage. Jake has frequent access to a revolving lineup of supercars for filming, collaborations, brand partnerships, and events. Ferraris, McLarens, and exotic rentals appear in his content constantly. Even if he doesn't own them permanently, the access itself is part of the lifestyle. A reminder that Jake is now in a space where supercars are props as much as they are vehicles. What matters most is how the cars fit into Jake Paul's world. They aren't random purchases. They are tools for his identity. The athlete, the businessman, the internet face, the entertainer. Each vehicle plays a role. Each one fits a version of Jake Paul that he needs to activate depending on the day. In 2025, his garage isn't just a collection. It's a museum of the lifestyle he worked for. And it's funded by a financial engine much bigger than YouTube. Now let's break down where the real money comes from. Jake Paul's boxing career is one of the most financially transformative moves any creator has ever made. But we're not talking about wins, losses, or match narratives. Only the money. Because Jake's transition into combat sports didn't just boost his income, it recalibrated the entire financial trajectory of his life. At the top of his earnings are fight purses, which regularly reach multi-million-dollar figures depending on the event scale, opponent, and promotional structure. Each fight brings Jake guaranteed money before a single ticket is sold. That alone puts him in a completely different income bracket from most influencers. But the real financial magic comes from the back end. Jake earns a percentage of pay-per-view sales, which can generate millions on their own. When a fight sells well, and historically, Jake's fights sell extremely well, the PPV cut becomes a massive revenue stream. This is what turned him from a high-earning influencer into a legitimate multimillionaire athlete. Pay-per-view money isn't like brand deals or YouTube ads. It pays out in huge waves. Then there are sponsorship integrations related to his fights. From promotions on fight night to brand placements during training footage, social media run-ups, and press events, Jake monetizes every stage of the fight cycle. Companies pay to be associated with someone who can draw millions of eyes, and Jake uses his reach strategically. Another major source of wealth is MVP, Most Valuable Promotions, his own fight promotion company. Instead of simply being the athlete, Jake also owns part of the promotional machine behind major bouts. That means when a fight performs well financially, Jake profits not only as the fighter, but as the promoter. Dual positions create dual income streams. Then comes merchandise. Fight nights, training camps, and promotional tours generate spikes in hoodie, shirt, and accessory sales. This may not be his largest wealth channel, but the numbers are massive when connected to big fight moments. But boxing isn't the whole picture. Jake's brand partnerships and sponsorships add another layer. With millions of followers across platforms, he earns sizable fees for integrated campaigns, long-term collaborations, and promotional appearances. These deals aren't small. They're lucrative because Jake's audience is global and engaged. YouTube still plays a role, but not the central one. Jake earns from AdSense, premium ads, and content-related partnerships, but his financial dependence on YouTube has dropped significantly. Now his videos act more like marketing, elevating his other ventures. And then there's his non-content investments, ranging from equity positions in startups to involvement in new-age businesses. Jake invests in brands, creator-led companies, and entertainment ventures that can scale rapidly. These investments aren't always public, but they contribute to long-term wealth stability. Put all of this together, and Jake's 2025 income structure looks like this. Guaranteed fight money, PPV backend revenue, promotional company earnings, brand sponsorships, merchandise spikes, YouTube monetization, long-term equity investments. Jake Paul might have entered the spotlight through entertainment, but today he earns like a corporate entity. And now that the mansion is bought, the cars are secured, and the income systems are automated, it's time to look at how Jake built his entire business ecosystem around this lifestyle. Jake Paul's wealth in 2025 isn't the result of random luck or one breakout year. It's the result of a carefully engineered ecosystem where every piece of his brand supports the next. His business world is built like a digital corporation, diversified, automated, and constantly scaling. At the center of that ecosystem is Most Valuable Promotions, MVP. This company is one of Jake's smartest business moves because it allows him to operate like both the athlete and the executive. MVP helps organize events, negotiate deals, promote fights, handle sponsorships, and create long-term brand relationships. Jake earns not only when he fights, but also when other fighters under the MVP umbrella participate in major events. It's a recurring, scalable revenue channel, something rare in the influencer world. Then there's social media monetization, which is more layered than most people realize. Jake's YouTube channel generates revenue not only from ads, but from built-in sponsorships, integrated promotions, long-form content monetization, and strategic brand placements. Even when he he posts less frequently. Each video is engineered to be high impact and high earning. His social presence across all platforms creates an ecosystem where content feeds business and business feeds content. Jake also operates through brand partnerships, earning sizable fees for product collaborations, advertising, and long-term ambassador relationships. These partnerships are not small. Companies pay serious money to tap into Jake's reach, especially when paired with his boxing visibility and lifestyle content. Another major engine is merchandising and apparel, which ramps up during fight seasons but continues year-round through drops, limited items, and collaborations. Merchandise spikes dramatically when Jake announces a fight, travels for events, or produces documentary-style content. But one of the most underrated parts of Jake's financial world is his investment strategy. Over the years, he has put money into various companies, creator-led startups, crypto plays, real estate assets, and entrepreneurial partnerships. These investments aren't always public, but they add layers of long-term wealth stability. Jake's shift from Los Angeles to Puerto Rico was a signal that he's thinking in long-game terms, optimizing his income through a mix of business ownership, tax planning, and risk distribution. Jake's personal brand, one of his strongest assets, also drives massive revenue. His training content, behind-the-scenes lifestyle, and in-depth documentaries create media moments that translate into new opportunities. Every appearance boosts the visibility of his businesses. Every fight increases his promotional power. Every major event turns Jake into a trending topic. And behind every one of those moments is a business capturing value. This is where Jake's mansion, cars, and lifestyle connect. His life itself becomes marketing. His environment is content. His investments fund the brand. The brand fuels the wealth. Jake Paul's 2025 world is not built on chaos. It's built on structure disguised as entertainment. Jake Paul's 2025 lifestyle is not the chaotic, impulsive pace he lived during his Los Angeles days. Instead, his life now feels like a finely tuned engine, powerful, structured, and designed for longevity. Puerto Rico changed him. His $20 million mansion changed him. The transition from internet troublemaker to global brand builder changed him, and his daily routine reflects that evolution with surprising clarity. Most days start early. The morning sun hits the glass walls of his oceanfront mansion, pouring bright blue light into his bedroom and across the terraces outside. From the moment he wakes, the house reminds him that he built something enormous, something permanent, a physical manifestation of where he is financially, mentally, and professionally. Jake usually begins with a quiet moment, standing barefoot on the balcony overlooking the water. For someone who once thrived on noise, the silence of Puerto Rico became one of his most expensive luxuries. Training is his first priority. The mansion includes a private gym equipped with everything an elite athlete could need: heavy bags, cardio machines, recovery tools, weight systems, ice baths, sauna setups, all structured so Jake never needs to leave the property to prepare for whatever comes next in his career. Trainers, conditioning coaches, and sparring partners often visit the house, turning the estate into a self-contained sports compound. After training, Jake's personal chef or nutrition team prepares meals tailored to his daily needs. High-protein breakfasts, hydration-focused routines, carefully measured ingredients. His food is designed to fuel both his athletic side and his business side. And although Jake is known for living large, his diet has become surprisingly disciplined. Money buys freedom, but it also buys structure. The late morning typically shifts toward business. Jake jumps between meetings for MVP, brand strategy discussions, sponsorship planning, content scheduling, and investment oversight. His mansion acts as the perfect HQ, large enough for staff, collaborators, and business partners to come and go without disturbing his workflow. Every corner of the house can convert into a set, a meeting room, or a creative space. Afternoons are often dedicated to content. Jake still films, but not with the daily hustle he once relied on. Now it's selective, strategic, vlogs, lifestyle segments, behind-the-scenes footage, training recaps, and promotional materials. The mansion's aesthetic does half the work automatically. The sleek architecture, the ocean backdrop, the luxury features. Every shot looks expensive without trying. When content is wrapped, Jake frequently heads outdoors. Puerto Rico gives him access to the ocean, and he uses it constantly: jet skis, yacht outings, coastal workouts, or uninhibited cliffside relaxation. Living in a waterfront estate grants him a private relationship with the island that tourists never experience. Nights vary. Some evenings are calm. Film nights in his home cinema, recovery sessions, poolside dinners with close friends, or business brainstorming with partners. Other nights lean toward the high-end social world. Elite restaurants, collaboration meetings, or exclusive gatherings with athletes, entrepreneurs, and creators who also live or travel through Puerto Rico. What defines Jake's 2025 life isn't extravagance, it's efficiency. His wealth buys him time, control, and balance. He works smarter, trains smarter, spends smarter, and lives in a space built to support every part of his empire. But behind this lifestyle is a financial system much larger than the house he lives in or the cars he drives. Jake Paul's financial life in 2025 doesn't operate like a standard influencer model. It's not based on random sponsorships or the volatility of viral moments. Instead, his wealth is built on layered, interconnected systems, each one generating income independently, yet all of them feeding into the image and influence he maintains daily. To understand Jake's true financial picture, you need to understand how each piece of his ecosystem works together. At the top of the structure are boxing payouts. Boxing isn't just a sport for him, it's a business model. Jake earns guaranteed fight purses, which can reach multiple millions on their own. But the real financial power comes from PPV shares. When a fight sells well, Jake earns backend bonuses that dwarf traditional brand deals. This puts him in a category of athletes whose income is tied to audience demand, not algorithm luck. Then there's his ownership stake in Most Valuable Promotions, MVP. This company expands Jake's wealth beyond his own fights, allowing him to profit as a promoter and co-owner of events. MVP allows Jake to build fight cards, negotiate deals, form partnerships, and leverage the star power of other athletes. Instead of being simply a participant in the industry, he positioned himself to benefit from the business side. It's a move that creators rarely make, but Jake did. Next are brand deals and long-term partnerships. Jake's reach across YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and streaming gives him brand value that companies pay a premium for. Instead of doing one-off ads, Jake often negotiates multi-month or multi-year partnerships that pay predictably. This stabilizes his income. His social media channels generate revenue through AdSense, sponsorship integration, and brand amplification. Even if Jake posts less frequently than before, each upload is strategic, professionally filmed, edited with purpose, and positioned to drive traffic to his projects. A single vlog can generate 6 figures in value across ad revenue, brand placement, and business funnel. Another major contributor is Jake's investment portfolio, which includes stakes in creator-led startups, digital brands, tech ventures, and real estate plays. Jake invests in companies with scaling potential, brands that grow without requiring his daily involvement. These investments create long-term stability, shielding him from market fluctuations or career shifts. Then there's the merchandise economy, which spikes dramatically around fight events. Hoodies, training gear, limited drops, special edition collections, merch adds a multi-million-dollar layer to major promotional seasons. Even in off-seasons, his brand sells steadily. Jake's wealth also benefits from Puerto Rico's tax incentives, which allow him to keep significantly more of his income. This decision alone changed the scale of his net worth trajectory. Millions saved annually become millions reinvested into assets, businesses, and growth opportunities. The result is a financial engine that looks like this. Fights to PPV to MVP, profits to sponsorships to YouTube, revenue to merch sales, to investments to tax optimization. Each part feeds the next. Each part protects the next. Each part multiplies the next. Jake Paul isn't operating like an influencer anymore. He's operating like a corporation. And that brings us to the final question. Where does all this wealth lead? What is Jake Paul actually building? Jake Paul's $20 million mansion isn't just a luxury home, it's a declaration. A declaration that he's no longer just a creator, no longer just a boxer, no longer just a controversial public figure. In 2025, Jake is building something bigger, something long-term, something designed to survive the internet's shifting tides. The first part of his legacy is the creator-to-athlete transition. Jake didn't become a boxer for content. He built a second career that extends his brand into mainstream sports culture. His promotional presence, PPV performance, and involvement with MVP offer him influence beyond YouTube. It positions him among a small group of creators who achieved recognition outside digital platform. The second part is his business infrastructure. Jake is quietly developing a portfolio meant to last decades, not months. He has ownership stakes, revenue pipelines, long-term partnerships, and a company structure that allows him to step back from constant filming without losing momentum. Most creators peak and fade. Jake engineered a path where his wealth grows even if his content output doesn't. The third is his real estate positioning in Puerto Rico. His $20 million mansion is more than a home. It's a strategic base. It gives him privacy, tax efficiency, creative freedom, and high-status presence. It's an asset that grows in value over time, and it shows that he's thinking like someone with financial vision, not like someone chasing short-term social media spikes. The fourth part of his legacy is cultural impact. Love him or not, Jake Paul changed the influencer economy. He showed that creators can enter sports, entertainment, and business at levels once reserved for traditional celebrities. He proved that internet fame can convert into real-world wealth and industry power. And the fifth part, the one Jake seems most focused on in 2025, is generational wealth. Everything he builds today feeds a future where he can own companies, properties, intellectual property, and brand networks far beyond his physical career. His mansion, his cars, his training, his business empire, everything is pointing toward a life where Jake stays wealthy long after the cameras turn off. Jake Paul's 2025 chapter isn't loud or chaotic. It's deliberate, strategic, structured. He's living in a multi-million-dollar mansion not because he made money, but because he learned how to keep it, grow it, and build on it. His lifestyle is the product of discipline. His wealth is the product of diversification. His legacy is the product of ambition. And his empire? It's only getting started.